Hey, what's up, guys? Arnold5656 here, and I welcome you all back to another episode of Katawa Shoujo. Now, when we last left off, we were actually looking. I think we were at what was it? The track meet with Rin and Emmy's mom, I believe, and I think Emmy's mom had to go do something. So, anyways, let's get to it. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. Oh, I wonder why my spacebar's not working. Rip. That's not gonna be easy. I guess it's not working. Come on, damn it. Work. Why you no work for me today? Oh, I guess not. Okay. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all, but hey, whatever. Kinda sucks it's really not working for me today. Rip. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on her run. Or on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing even if she had arms. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, or us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So, how'd I look? I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settled for the substantially safer very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Actually, I noticed Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it at the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later. There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it isn't a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch in her face. Like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing's a little shallow too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from the running is all. And come on, a little pain isn't gonna stop me. Oh no? Emmy grins, and for a moment she looks like she did during her sprint, fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it in another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet. Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Damn right, I'm Emmy Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything. Impressive. Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally, we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and classes and all that stuff to do, to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Oh, right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow, too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word I throw it around her shoulders. Emmy jumps slightly and then grins at me. Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, looked like it. Are her nipples on point too? Never mind. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hisao. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all. With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thought she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big a deal? Emmy was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Alright, so we're finally at the next part. I wonder where we're gonna get to the next act, though. Stretching. Ow. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? Seriously, we haven't been taking that. Like, you never see him, like, take his medicine at all. Like, is that just like a once a month type thing? Once a week? I don't know. I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Of course I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I kept running and finished just fine, so really it couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel the need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seems concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Hisao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. Ha, she's rubbing off on you, I guess. His inspection changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I prefer to not have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of a lofty goal to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I've got to remember to take my medication. You're right, I'm sorry to worry you. Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hisao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, huh? Yeah, they've been really helping me. I mean, until today, I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Hisao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her your jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh, yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates your running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's gonna push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What the heck does that mean? You'd love to know, wouldn't you? He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Ren ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damned medicine. I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that. Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to a hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person! The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me, as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweat, or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity, and a hint of strawberries from her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it, it's not your fault. You're sure? Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on the top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Hisao. Emmy, you going to come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry, was I interrupting? The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs. Of course not. I'll, see you later, okay? Oh, and Hisao? Take your damned medicine! This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again like he's in on some joke I don't know about and waves to me as I head from my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one, if the thoughts running through my head now are any indication. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallow them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. But no, They only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You'd expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason, Emmy smelled right. That tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. More time passes by. Okay. Please, no more Kenji dick. Thank you. No more Kenji dick. I would prefer not the Kenji dick, okay? I don't want to see a nude Kenji, please. Oh, okay. Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. I never would have done such a thing in my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true, though I like to sit alone. I also like to watch people. Peeping Tom much? I always figured that I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart, so there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they're both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Rin and Emmy, or Emmy and Rin, than I felt to anyone in my old school. Somehow, I get the feeling they'd at least visit me if I wound up in the hospital. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There's a light breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue, with hardly a cloud in it, though it looks like there's a lot of clouds up here in the actual picture, but okay. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Okay, good. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing. Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking to lull us into a false sense of security. Why would he do that? No idea. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure he's really asleep. Huh? What? Emmy looms over me like only a short girl can, peering at me intently. Oh, you're awake. I guess we didn't have to kick you then. Was it part of your master plan? What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with emotion. I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although it's pretty comfortable, I suppose. She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if that would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice, perhaps for the first time, how she laughs with her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time that I realize Emmy's looking at me, her voice raised slightly, so she's probably just asked me a question. Huh? Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a moment there. Emmy rolls her eyes with a slight quirk of the eyebrow, while a slight quirk of the eyebrow is the only sign that Rin's even paying attention. I said, did you get a career survey in your class too? You know, one of those what do you want to do after high school things? I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow? What are you going to put down? That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but I've no idea what I'd do once I got there. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really been concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. Ah, gotta love water. How much time do I have left? Wow, not a lot. Okay. I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it'll be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I've got absolutely no clue. I always kind of assumed I figured it out in college. That or just become a salaryman. That's pretty popular. But do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything. You don't sound very excited about that one, do you? She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught up in her laugh again. It's so girlish. High and giggly like a, well, pardon the cliche, like a babbling brook. It bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up to her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with the Sailor-Man idea. But to be honest, I haven't given much thought to the future recently. I suppose that these days I've been more concerned with living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins. That's a pretty good idea, Hisao. I just wrote down pirate. I'm momentarily stunned and then I start laughing. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended. Well, I've got the likes for it already, so I just kind of figured. Oh God. Even Rin seems amused by this. Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my pirate voice. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop, shouting orders. Yar, me hearties, give 'em a broadside with the long guns. We'll wear their guts for garters. Do you even know what that means? Rin's unsuspected interruption stops Emmy in her tracks. Not really. But it's all in the delivery. The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the roof. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope, I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't. Great, she saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Ren we're talking about after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring, I was just tired. Ren actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really! I was just distracted, is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to class. Oh, great. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. Well, Shizune looks like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing at any minute. Up by the roof again, Hee-chan. You know that's dangerous, don't you? That's right! The school cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes from being up there, you know? Furthermore, we could report you for breaking the rules. Misha leans in and whispers conspiratorially. But we won't, Hee-chan. You three are too cute together. She straightens up. She straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush. You're too easy to tease, Hee-chan. Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. Isn't it mean to pick on the newcomer like this? Nope. It's to help you get acclimated to your new surroundings. Ah, I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it? Yep. Ah, that aside, Hee-chan, we were looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room. Of course I wasn't. I was out for my morning exercise, or here in class, bright and early. Yeah, okay, I read that right. Unlike you. Shizune looks peeved, and a beat later, so does Misha. Or she tries to, at any rate. That was because of student council business. You should be grateful that we worked so hard for you. Oh, I am. So what did you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me into doing their dirty work, I hope. We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room. Something? Like what? Oh, you'll find out when you get back, Hee-chan. Muto entering the room ends our conversation, and we all head to our seats. It's only after I've settled down at my desk and the teacher started talking about something or other that something odd strikes me. What did Rin mean, you two seem to? Was Emmy staring at something too? For a brief moment, I considered the possibility that Emmy was staring at me the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind it if it were true. But it's best not to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it and focus on the lesson. After class, I make my way to my room. Muto really piled on the homework today. Before I can open my door, however, I am suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who has just exploded out of his room in a flurry of papers. Hey, we need to talk. These rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. They've got to stop. What? You're running around on the rooftop with the limitless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that. I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently. Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. Not to spoil things, but that's actually one of the endings. But okay, moving along. Okay. And if I've thought of it, you can be sure they've thought of it too. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am. I see. Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen. I'm sorry. I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day and the tap water has been compromised, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something canned, got it? But to do that, I need 500 yen. And since I've just saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me 500 yen. You know, if it'll make him go away, 500 yen is a bargain. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods and thanks and dashes off down the hallway. But not before he locks his door. With what an exhausting person. I'd better go in case he changes his mind. As I close the door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. Ah, this must be the something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she slid under the door. However, when I pick it up, I find that I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow's morning run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit at my desk to examine it properly. It's the first piece of mail I've received here at Yamaku, so it feels special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last. Iwanako. Okay, there we go. Is the last person I'd expect to want to write me a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. I might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I think Iwanako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two very different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened that door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. God, that white the white in the envelope is like fucking my eyes right now really hard. I hope you're well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second-year class got put together in class 3-1, and my timer's done. Okay, fuck off timer, thank you. Got put together in class 3-1 for the final year, so we're pretty comfortable from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seemed to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they're so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think that we're already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first years seem so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. God, just end your letter already. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. Yeah, I think I have had quite enough of this. I crumple up the sheet of paper and toss it across the room. My aim is so off, so the letter rolls onto my nightstand instead of going to my wastebasket. That was an apology for abandoning me. Except I don't know that I really need it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here now I've got other things on my mind. Emmy, for starters. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital in what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself, and I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. Alright. So, this is actually where we're going to end off for today. There is no plan for today. We're actually going to save and quit. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to save. Yep. Okay, cool. So, anyways, again, that's going to be where we're going to end off for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like in the video. Also, be sure to subscribe for more weekly content. Be sure to also follow me on Twitter and on Snapchat. All the links will be in the description down below. So again, be sure to check them out. And anyways, I'm on Reply 5656, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.